All right. Well, thank you for being on. This is
welcome.
my podcast, Socks On or Off. And with this podcast, I like to get different individuals on, talk to them about different things that either they go through, that they do in their personal lives, or over a topic that I feel is necessary to talk about.
Okay.
And today is one of those topics. So I have a series called Ebony Experience. And with that, I get different black women such as yourself, and I talk to them about them and different experiences that they go through on a daily basis.
Okay.
And yeah, it's super straightforward. Like I said, no questions.
Okay.
We're just gonna rock out.
All right.
But first off, if you just want to introduce yourself, where you're from, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Eugenée, and I am born and raised in Tulsa, and I've been here my whole life. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And see, one thing about Tulsa is there's so much to do, but there's not so much to do, if that makes
Right.
sense.
It definitely depends on your scene.
Yeah, or like who you hang around with,
Yeah.
what you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a homebody. I pay too much rent to be
Oh.
everywhere else.
Yes. Enjoy your luxuries.
Right? Like if it's
Yes.
not the gym here, I'm not anywhere else.
Yeah, that keeps you focused.
Yeah, they be like, go outside and meet people. For what? What I gotta meet?
Outside is ghetto.
Right. Golly, man. And especially when people are having like they hot boy, hot girl summer. My body ain't built for that right now. I'm literally a hot boy out there. It's just too much. All right. Well, where'd you go to school? Because I know we went to the same high school, Booker T,
Yes.
right? And it was a great time.
Really?
One
You
thing
enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it,
Good for you.
and I didn't know how much I enjoyed it until I started getting older.
Okay.
Because of the black unity that Booker T had,
Yeah.
it was something that I never thought I needed. Because I was raised by white people. I'm half white.
Oh, yeah.
So when Black Lives Matter came out and all this marching, I was like, what is this for?
Right.
Like, of course, just like everybody else who is not open-minded to that type of idea. Like, now I have it on me,
Yeah.
right? And I just didn't see it. And having a black son, and then when I was in a relationship, having a black family, I was like, you know what? This is real life to me.
So was it a culture shock?
Not necessarily a culture shock because I grew up in the hood.
Okay.
Like I didn't have white friends. I just had a white family.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So it was the same, but the love, right? When you
Okay.
grow up, I don't know how you grew up, but in the hood, you have your friends, but you can hate and kill somebody who looks just like you, right? And I feel like with Booker T, regardless of what clique or group you were in, people seemed pretty nice. Like,
Yeah.
I've only had a handful of occasions where people were mean to me, but the overall experience was amazing. The pep rallies were great. Really showed like that spirit,
Okay.
you know. So, man, I'm taking over this, but
No,
yes.
that's okay.
What schools did you go to?
So, elementary, I went to Alcott.
Okay,
They're no longer open.
good. I've never heard of that.
Yes, it's out north. Like down the street from Tasty Freeze.
Oh, damn. That's
Yes.
deep north.
Child, we went on a field trip to Tasty Freeze.
It's not a bad. I mean, if you know,
For the
you know,
culture.
right?
Yes,
If
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know.
So I went there until 3rd grade, and for 4th grade, I went to an elementary school called Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Did you? Okay. Speaking of Hamilton, did
Okay.
you ever watch the play Hamilton?
No.
Oh, it's great.
What's it
So
about?
it's about Alexander Hamilton,
Oh.
and he's a founding father. But
Gotcha.
it was really cool. It's a musical, but they
Okay.
hire different ethnicities of people to play different cast members.
Okay.
It's really good. It's on Disney.
Gotcha. Then for 5th grade, I went to KIP.
Oh, you're just moving around, huh?
Yeah, I
Just
moved
moving around.
I did. Yeah. And then when it came to, when it was time for middle school, my mom was like, you want to stay at KIP? Because they go up to 8th grade.
Right.
Or do you want to try to go to Carver? And so I was like, I want to go to Carver. I liked KIP, but I feel like I didn't need all that extra discipline. I'm already disciplined enough. My mom raised me that way. So I didn't need it at school, too.
Right.
Let me be. So I went to Carver, and I loved middle school.
Did you?
Yes.
Didn't they go like 6 days a week or something like that? Like, didn't you guys have an extra day?
I think we did.
Yeah, I was like,
I forgot about
yeah,
that.
good thing I didn't go there. I wasn't as smart, but I had 5 days.
Yeah.
So, what was it about Carver that made your experience a little bit better? I mean, outside of the discipline, outside of just.
I think it was just the vibe for me. And maybe I was just happier in life at that time. Because and then I was a cheerleader. That was fun. I don't know. I feel like it was a milestone to like go to middle school.
Right.
I don't know. So
It's a big, yeah, because we have like, I don't know if you did, but going into 6th grade, we had like a 5th grade promotion.
Yeah.
So it was like I was like, oh my goodness, I still got
Right.
another 5-6 years of this. I don't want to.
Did I have 5th grade promotion? Did Kip do that? If they did, I don't remember.
If they did,
But I did have an 8th grade promotion.
Hey,
That
there
was
we go.
That was emotional. But I was ready to get out of there. I'm like, it's time for high school.
Time to be a woman.
Yes. I only have recently felt like I'm a woman.
See, I agree, right? So with my son, I have siblings, and I'm the oldest. So with Elijah, I felt like he was just like my brother or cousin.
Oh.
And recently, I don't know if you've seen the movie Baby Boy.
Yes.
So when his son was in the bath, like shooting the basketball, and he took him out with like the towel, I've done it countless times, but there was just one time I did it and thought about it. I'm like, oh shit, this is my bag.
I'm responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, especially when I go to his class to pick him up and his teachers are talking to me, I'm like, guys, I don't know. I'm still, like, as you can see, I still watch anime. Like,
like you're still a kid yourself in a way.
yeah, it feels like, but yeah, it's wonderful. But being a cheerleader, that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
So did you just have a lot of faith and love into yourself? Because I know, or I don't know fully, but I've heard and witnessed a lot of darker women or just women of color, period, hate the way they look because the quote unquote beauty standard is not what we look like, right?
So listen, I never had a problem with how I looked. It was other people pointing it out, and it came from other black guys. And that was primarily in elementary school. So especially me being darker complected, that was what I was bullied for.
Right.
And like I said, it was always by other black people. And so that was, I just never understood it. And people say words don't hurt, but when it's repetitive, it's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's gonna bother you. But I never had a problem with my complexion.
Yeah. Why do you think us as black men do that?
Because they don't like themselves.
That makes sense. A lot of people ask me why black people are in the position that they're in, and it's two things, right? They can't see the other ethnicity that rules the country.
Right.
They can't see them less than them. They always see them as God or see them as above. But what I can do is get a little bit more status or a little bit more pizzazz than the person who looks like me. And then that is some type of power that we just hold on to, not knowing that together we're more powerful.
Yeah.
And black men piss me off.
Tell me about it. And it's taught, and this goes back to way before us and our parents and everything. This is like Jim Crow era. And it's like, they predicted that it was going to be like this today.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That, and I feel like black women realize that, but black men are still lost in the sauce, and I don't like that for us.
Yeah, and it got so. What is the word I'm looking for? It was like a privilege to have sex with a white woman because now you're getting back at these people and you're doing this and you're doing that, and I'm just like, this doesn't. I love everybody, right? But when I see a black dude with a white girl or a black girl with a white guy, I'm like...
The cringe. I cringe. I'm not going to lie. I do.
I'm like, oh, what is this, right? And I don't know, like, even having a white mom, people ask me, like, you're half white. How can you tell? You feel me? Like... Can you tell? Like, I'm a nigga. I gotta tell you. Like, I gotta tell you I'm half white. People, like, are you Samoan? Are you this? No.
Samoan, I can see it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man, I need to go down there and show off my muscles.
Yeah.
But yeah, black men really upset me for that simple fact. And I was working at a dispensary at one point in time. And there was this guy who came in. I forgot what we were talking about. I used to tell people I have a podcast all the time. But we were talking about black women. And he was like, man, I can't fuck with black women anymore because they're just this, and this. And I'm like, oh, my, sir. I forgot exactly what he said. But I was like, your girlfriend in there, she's a big white girl. You know the stereotype?
Yeah,
you feel me? Like, yeah, that I was like, sir, it just makes sense. So
it makes me wonder if they go to them to feel better about themselves.
Probably.
Because when a black man is with a black woman, they know that they're going to be constantly encouraged, and nobody understands them the way we do.
Right. That's what I tell people. Like, when you date outside your race, because I feel like black people are like the only race that really does that. Because, like, of course, you'll see a black man with a white girl or a black girl with a white man. but in the totality of it, white people go with white people, Asians go with Asians, like, and it's just us. Because I feel like now we start to see each other as just like, not relatives, but in the sense of like, she's just another black girl. Like, I had blacks. I knew this man. He was like, oh, I can't fuck with black girls because they remind me of my sister. What? What is that? What is that?
Sorry, you're traumatized.
Right? Like, I don't know what that means. And I tell people, like, the culture is different. The way a black woman understands a black man is,
there's a beauty in it.
Right. Like, they used to let the slave masters force them to have sex just to keep them from dying, or just, oh my gosh, like, so much love that women bled and gave to black men was something that had to, in their mind, had to go away. Because, like you said, it was instilled. It was ingrained. Like, after slavery came segregation. Yeah. And then after segregation, like, I feel like segregation really showed us, especially in Black Wall Street, how prosperous we can be.
Yeah, on our own.
Right. And then they were like, you know what, we're not liking this. So the introduction to drugs really was the block that knocked over everything. Yeah. And that showed that with jealousy and envy, you can now tear them from the inside. And then you will have these women that are stuck with the seed of everything. And now you start to push independence. You start to push, you don't need a man, or a man don't need a woman. Right, they took the black man
out of the home.
Exactly. And now I see how important it is for a man to be in the house.
Yes. Like, because they're the enforcer. Yeah. I feel like I believe the woman is the backbone, but the man is the enforcer.
Right. Like, I've been single for probably 3 years now, and seeing how much more slack I have to pick up, just little things, like cooking my own food, right? Or making sure all my clothes are washed. Like, golly, not letting it pile up to the fridge. Because I'll leave them in the dryer. You know, I have a washer and dryer in there. Yeah, man, what do I look like? But no, and it just the softness that a woman brings. Yes, you know, like,
we make people's lives easier.
I agree. Just like a simple touch. Yes. You know, even on the shoulder or something. To me, well, okay, so when I was in a relationship, she wasn't as feminine as I wanted. Okay. And
were you as masculine as you needed to be?
No. Okay. But now, even now, like, we talk occasionally, and I'm a big R&B guy. Okay. Right? I listen to rap occasionally, but I'm an R&B guy. Okay. And I was listening to something, and she was like, can you play like The Baby or something? Like, can you turn up? Yeah, can you be more mad? I'm like, I'm trying to chill. Like, who are we trying to fight this early in the morning? Oh my God. Trying to listen to The Baby, like, for what? And the thing with me is, like, masculinity shouldn't be gangster.
Right, because it's not.
Exactly. It should, well, I guess whatever people feel like masculinity should be. But with me, like you said, that enforcer, the man who takes charge, but also is humble enough to take criticism, to apologize. I apologize for shit that's not even my fault sometimes, but it's to have that line in the sand to where it's like, I'll meet you here. What I started to understand is once you start controlling your own reality, how much you can bleed into other people and make life better.
Yeah. Influence is powerful.
Yeah, and we're
an influence on people whether we're intentional about it or not. Yeah. And so when you are intentional, you can really control how you're affecting other people, negative or positive.
I agree, and it just gets to a point to where it's like, can we not see as a people that this is ruining us? Like, people are upset that Lil Durk is in prison. Ma'am.
If you're a murderer,
right?
You're a menace.
I was so confused. I was like so confused. People was upset that Vaughn died, and I'm like, he punched this man for no, like, really. I mean, I don't want to say no reason because
Yeah.
everybody has a reason,
Yeah.
but he made his fame off of saying smoking too and killing people who look like him. So yeah, black men, get your stuff together,
Please.
man. So with all this name calling and all this irritable days at school, how did you overcome that?
I had the support of my mom. She was always there for me. People thought she worked at the school, how much she was up there. And unfortunately, she experienced the same thing. Me and my mom look just alike. We're the same complexion. And she had that same battle back in, well, she was born in the 70s. So like the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
She's bullied for the same thing. So she knows how it feels. So she had an anger behind it. Like, that's my daughter. I'm here to protect her. And you're not going to run her off or make her feel less than.
Right.
My mom always poured into us, and she still does that to this day.
That's amazing. So with my mom, it was, I don't know, it was different. Like, of course you'll get that I love you or you're the best, but it wasn't like a support type thing. There was 5 of us, and she was a single mother, which is understandable. But as a parent now, I understand that you have to make effort, right? Even if the effort is something you have to learn, it still has to be pushed out. Like with Elijah, I make sure to tell him he's handsome. I tell him he's great, and I see how that continues to push him just to be himself or to just to experience new things, because he knows daddy is not going to make you feel bad about it. You know, and with his mom, there's times where he doesn't feel like the love from her, which really sucks, because being raised by, like, everybody I was raised by was basically women. So my mom, grandmother, aunts, and to see like him not get that feminine attention that he needs, I'm like, damn. It makes me feel like I put him in a position that he shouldn't have belonged to. Right.
Gotcha.
Because I'm the man who had a child with her, you know, knowing who she was and being blinded to that. But I was like, you know what? I have a black family. I'm going to make it work. I can be a great father. I can be a great husband. And every time I was, all the times I was thinking that, I was still a child. I didn't even know how to be myself. And it's beautiful to see like parents taking that initiative and showing the children, hey, you're loved, you're beautiful. Because the one thing that children need is that support and that knowledge that outside of everything else, when I come here, I'm loved.
And it's safe.
Right. So going into high school, saying, man, this is like a new chapter in my life. And especially Booker T. Booker T is really known for like its spirit, its academics,
the
it
reputation
just
was impeccable.
So what was that like for you your freshman year? Because of course a lot of people go from Kip and Carver to Booker T. So how was that like for you? Did you see a lot of your old friends, or was it scary?
It was not scary. And one thing about me, I've never been fearful. I'm always like ready to just go in. And it may be like a little nervousness inside of me, but I'm never just like scared. But I was excited. I joined Palm. So I danced, and so the summer before school even started, I was able to get familiar with the school and already build relationships. So freshman year was cool for me. The academic part, I mean, I've always been a smart girl. Have I always been a good student? Probably not. 'Cause I like to talk, and like I'll finish my work and be ready to talk. The teacher, like, do you remember Mr. Horton? He was the math teacher.
I don't think I had him.
Oh, okay. He was great. You missed out. I would always finish my work early, and I'd get to talk, and he's like, listen, just because you're done, that don't mean everybody else is. Pipe down. I'm
Bro,
like,
well, shit, Mr. Horton, let me talk to you then.
Exactly.
You ain't got nothing to do.
Exactly. But freshman year was nice. I don't have any complaints. Sophomore year, academically, I did great. I don't know why, but I did. It was nice. Then 11th and 12th, I was just, something hit me. I was ready to go. I guess I had senioritis early.
For sure. I mean, shit, being that smart, I wouldn't. I'm like, guys, just hurry up and graduate.
I've always felt advanced, like, but then at the same time, I wouldn't go above and beyond and be all in.
She was smart enough not to be too smart.
I flew under the radar. Kind of lazy. I like school now more as an adult. I'm gonna go to college again. So,
okay, exciting for what?
Healthcare administration.
All right.
Yeah, so I've been a nurse for about 6 years now
Oh,
already.
congratulations.
Thank you. And yes, I want to have my own practice and my own facility. So I got to learn how to run it. So
For sure. Yeah. And that's the thing that people need to understand about Black women. Like, we don't, like, I know a nurse as well, and she's Black. And the amount of obstacles that she had to get through just to be
respect.
Yes.
And you have to prove yourself to them.
Right. And
no.
like, she is really one of the best women I've known, because when she was in she went to Booker T as well. Okay. She was a year above us.
Okay.
And she worked at Sonic on the west side of Tulsa.
Okay.
Her whole high school career. And then I think even when she was in nursing school, she was doing that. And then had a child and still prospered.
Yeah.
And it got to a point now where she doesn't feel as respected or as loved, because everyone looks at her and be like, well, you're you. Of course, like, why do we need to check on you? Why do we need to? So it's really difficult. And when you got to that level of just, I wouldn't say stress, but that type of environment where it's like all eyes are on you, or everything is up to you now. How did you handle that? How did you get through it?
Looking back, I know God got me through a lot of my challenges, because in the midst of it, I was in autopilot.
Right.
Like, I was just going. And it gets to a point where I'm thinking, but I'm not realizing the negative effect the stress was having on me. And I did finally take a step back. Like last year, at the 6-month mark, I just took a break from nursing because it was becoming too much. I was wanting to just totally leave it in the past.
Right.
But by family, I was encouraged to not just drop it, because it is a significant accomplishment and a career.
Of course.
And I do a very good job. So I took a break, and then I dove into my creative side, and that's when I went to aesthetics. So I just, I've become very good at listening to the voice of the Lord, as far as allowing God to guide me in my decisions. And sometimes it's okay to take a break.
Right.
And reevaluate and replan. And that's okay.
That's beautifully said, because a lot of people, they get on that autopilot and they lose themselves in the process. And now people become workaholics.
Yeah.
Or their relationship with their family, friends go away.
Yeah.
And that's dope that you were able to see that. Was it just the hours getting too stressful, or just the environment itself?
It was a mix of the environment and feeling like I had to commit and stay to this one place. I've learned now I work better on my own schedule and going from place to place.
Yeah.
I work agency, so I pick up at all sorts of facilities. That just works for me.
Right.
But I was almost letting myself like suffer and just like getting through it, like, oh, maybe it'll get better. But usually when you catch that drift the first time, that's not your vibe, go ahead and go. Because you're only going to continue to receive signs that it's not for you, and that's okay.
I heard this quote. It was like, oh, excuse me.
You're okay.
The Lord, everything we learn is through pain.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't tempt maliciously, he will show us different ways that this is not for us.
Right.
And either we learn through pain or we learn through more pain. And like you were saying, the signs are going to be there. Yeah. It's like, damn, how many signs are you going to hit until you
it goes
turn
from
the
a
way?
pinch to a punch.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
And my friend, she worked in hospice.
Oh, okay.
And she worked in hospice for years. And she was like, it's just getting too overwhelming. I don't have a lot of time with my children, etc. So she moved into another facility, and there was older nurses there that were mean, right? They were complaining about things that she did that could have been settled with a conversation. And in that time, she is now finding that hospice was actually meant for her. Okay. So it's dope to see how we have these feelings of lost, or not abandonment, but just stuck in the same place. And then when we go on the other side, it was like, oh shit, I can control everything over here. Not in the sense of like how my day is going to go, or you know, what's going to happen with my patients, but I'm so familiar that now I'm able to love myself a little bit more because the work I'm doing with people,
Right.
or the experience that I do have with these individuals. Because she said she prayed for people before they died,
Yeah.
helped the family. And I'm like, yeah, you can't really do that in like the ER setting where there's people of
and
different.
it's in and out. You don't have time for that intimate moment.
Right.
Yeah.
So stepping away, was that because you said it was comfortable or excuse me, not comfortable, but you said it was easy because you felt like that was what the Lord had for you. Was there any idea in your mind that you were going to do something like totally different? Or was it like, okay, I'm just going to...
It was like a leap of faith. Like, I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
I know what sacrifice is about to be made. Like, the money's about to be gone. My life is literally about to change. But I felt like at that point, I didn't have nothing to lose. Like, I was not worried.
Yeah.
I just took that leap of faith, and that next 6 months was great.
Yeah.
It was, a lot of change happening. I was going through a lot at that time, but I made goals for myself, and I completed all of those. I went above and beyond, and it was great, and I don't regret that decision.
Right.
And eventually, I did come back to nursing, but I did it on my terms.
For sure. So what would you tell other women who look like you when they feel like they have to hold up to a standard, or they have to be that beacon of light for other people?
I would say be your own light and pour into yourself first. And I know it's hard to put yourself first when you've always been there for other people, but you cannot pour out of an empty cup. So I would say the source is yourself. And once you're right with you, that's going to reflect on the outside, and everything else literally will fall into place. You'll be in the right rooms. You'll meet the right people. Things will flow.
For sure. Yeah, and it's just, like you said, that leap of faith that is really the starting point to get to where you want to go. So with me, my heaviest was 477.
Wow.
And one day, like I said, made a change, right? I lost 169 pounds. But also with podcasting, being open to having different people on the podcast, or not being afraid to ask people to be on. And that showed the type of trust that we should have with other people. Because now that we start to be open, we have relationships that get to be built.
Yes.
And now we start to have conversations that are probably uncomfortable.
Right, but they need to be had. Exactly.
And that's why I love this series, and it's been a long time since I had it. And there's this girl that I have on Snapchat, and I just keep trying to encourage her. And then today she said something like, well, maybe he's right, I'm not worth it, or something. And I was like, ma'am, I can't keep watching this. Right, because I try to give you encouragement. I try to, and because with me, I still don't find myself like attractive to people or to women. Right? Yeah, and I have really bad imposter syndrome.
Okay, I've experienced that.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm just I know I'm worthy and worth things, but like with women like her, she's gorgeous. I don't think I'm the type of man that she fuck with, right?
Okay.
But I just tried to tell her, like, man, I think you're amazing. But to see the self-doubt that you have over and over again, it hurts me the most, right? And I was like, you're not losing a friend, but I just can't be a part of this right now.
Because I do believe, like, we all get down, but some people choose to stay down.
Yeah.
And we can only encourage so much,
right?
And then that can take away from us, and it's time. And it's good you step back, like, all right, you're not even being receptive. Right. I'm not gonna keep wasting my words.
For sure, because
I gave you enough.
Because my words are great. I write poems.
There you go.
They may not be good, cool. But you do.
Yeah,
that's dope. I had 2 poetry events that I hosted.
Oh wow!
People didn't show up, but it's all right.
Do another one. I'll come.
Thank you. The first one, actually, people showed up. But the second and third one, excuse me, there was 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and I just wish Black women would understand the power that they have. You know, like literally the seed of life. Like, I believe Black people are the people in the Bible. They originated from everything. And to see, if we read the Bible as just a history book, we'll start to see how strong, how important, how loved we actually are.
And anointed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you heard of the Israelites. You probably have, of course. And their big thing is Deuteronomy 28. And then reading that whole chapter, I'm like, this it makes sense.
It resonated.
Exactly.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this has to be, because when we look at just black people in totality, right?
Okay.
We are so sought after, but yet the most that is being destroyed, right? People want to look like us, they want to be like us, they want to act like us, but when it comes to being us, they don't understand.
Because they could never.
Exactly. And I was like, what is it that we have, or who we are, that puts us in this point? And then when I started to understand a little bit more, I'm like, it makes sense. Like, of course we did it to ourselves, but we are a people that is chosen. We're a people that is loved.
And they see it and they recognize it and know what they would do with it.
Exactly.
And they use that against us.
Yeah.
Because our community is quite ignorant.
Exactly.
And they take whatever is fed to them. That's what pigs do.
And that is
You
true.
gotta know
and we're
what
not
you're
even supposed to
taking.
eat that. So it makes
Stop
makes
eating
sense.
pork, please.
Right? I think that's the only animal in the Bible that demons were sent into. I'm just throwing that out
Message.
there. Yeah, like I had this guy on the podcast before this, and he was like, I can give you some of my artistic skills if you give me a little bit of your melanin. I was like, it makes sense, because we were talking about sunburns, and I was like, bro, I tried to get a sunburn. I could never get a sunburn.
Esthetician fact, black people can.
Yeah, for sure. It's just long time.
It takes a long time.
Cause shit, I be
We're
running
made
outside
for the sun. The sun heals us.
And I don't know if, well, you probably do, but just like going out in the sun and feel like it charging your skin. People be like, nah, that's just heat. Nah, it's a different
it feels
type of
good.
feeling.
I like it when it's on my back.
Right. And then I got to a point where I'm more comfortable with like taking my shirt off in public, because I'm a little strong now, right?
Okay.
I try to look a little handsome. But yeah, like you said, that feeling of the warmth and of the sun, it feels like a hug.
It does. It feels
like
so
a
good. I love it.
So, oh goodness, I just got so
That's okay.
off track.
Nah, it's all flowing.
So, when you said you were doing, not statistics, what did you say after?
Aesthetics. Esthetician is what I am.
Okay, so what is that?
So it's a skincare specialist.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I was learning, it actually went hand in hand with nursing, because we went in depth into the skin.
Okay.
And so I don't want to be a dermatologist or anything, but having my nursing background definitely helped me thrive in that area.
Right.
And then I've done makeup my whole life, so we touched in on that, and now I'm licensed in it.
Oh,
so that's cool. I wax people as well. I do facials.
Oh shit.
I don't do lashes. No time for all that. But yeah, it's cool. Beauty school is so fun.
Yeah. It seems easy from the outside looking in, but when you go in depth and you have to like figure out facial texture or people's, like you said, skin.
Yeah, it's science.
Yeah, and it gets so in depth. And
it is, yeah.
people need to start having like a little bit more appreciation.
Some respect on our name.
Right, because people get upset. It's like, oh, she's charging me $160 for do you know what goes into the
time, the cost of products? It's a luxury service.
Yeah.
But when I started my business in that, I wanted to allow anyone to experience that. So my prices are affordable, or even like a pay what you can sort of situation. It's the kind of work I would do for free, because I just want people to go into the path of self-care and actually take care of themselves. But it does start inside. You can do everything you want on the outside, but if you're not right inside, you're still going to be a little ugly.
Right. What did Kanye West say? The prettiest people do the ugliest things. And
I can't stand
that's true. And that's true.
It's disappointing.
So when you first started your business, was it easy getting it off the ground, or was it difficult trying to market yourself and have people, because of course there's competition. You'll have people that are close to you, but hey girl, can I get a discount, or can I do this?
And that's real bad in our community.
Right.
Once again,
you don't discount Jimmy Choo's. Or I don't even know what Jimmy Choo. I just heard that. Are those like shoes or something?
Jimmy Choo, they make perfume too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Jimmy Choo could walk in the room, I wouldn't know who it was.
Me either.
Doesn't matter. It's just a name.
Yeah.
But no, I was doing the marketing, and I used to say to people that would ask me that all the time, I'm like, I can post a selfie and the engagement is like there. Everybody's, commenting, hearting. I post about business, crickets.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's the most frustrating thing. Like with the podcast, I've been at 348 subscribers
Okay.
for years.
Okay.
And I only get like 20 views.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, guys, I have good content in my opinion.
And I feel like the city we live in, it's like a popularity contest. Like, they only support people that they know already.
I agree. Or the hood niggas.
Yeah. People that they should not be reporting.
Right.
Let it be a freaking Freaknik event going on. Everybody's engaging in that.
Ain't it?
But I could say something about Bible study and ain't nobody
Man, nobody gonna show up.
Ain't that crazy?
What y'all doing at Bible study? You ain't throwing booty. It's frustrating in itself.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful is the amount of skills and attributes that you gain with the repetition of just being yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you'll do it for free. So it never became, in my opinion, a burden to you.
No.
Because it's like, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm. And then I still had nursing. I mean, that is the kind of work I went to school for it, and it takes a lot of skill and being careful and knowledge. So yes, I need to be paid for that.
Right.
So I definitely have advocated for myself in that field to make sure I can sustain myself.
For sure. So what made you want to go into nursing? Because that's a pretty big field.
So that was not my plan.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be in the medical field, but I wanted to be a doctor. You know, and like I said, I've mentioned my laziness.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to school that long. I'm like, ugh.
That's a long time.
It is.
I wouldn't say for no reason.
Right.
But when you go to the doctors, they be like, oh, you cool? Here's a prescription.
Exactly.
Peace out.
Exactly. I think I'm on the right path now. But yes, nursing was definitely not my plan. I actually went to the military right after high school.
Oh, really? Thank you for your service.
I didn't
Veterans Day was like a couple days ago.
I am not a veteran. I do have a DD 214, but I'm not a vet.
I don't even know what that is. But
It's your discharge paperwork.
okay.
But yeah, I went in June and I came back home in August.
Oh.
He
Longer than I would have stayed. No, see.
my back. I said, I can't. My back hurts. It hurts.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
But I think I was there for a reason. I connected with who I needed to connect with. Just a small story. There was a girl there, and she was suicidal. She tried to kill herself a couple times while she was there. And so we all knew about it, but there's a buddy system in the military. And one of the drill sergeants came up to me and they said, hey, this girl chose you to be her buddy for her appointments. You have to watch her, like you're assigned to her to make sure she doesn't hurt herself. And in my young mind, I'm like, she doesn't even know me. We've never talked, but she chose me to be there for her. And I did my due diligence. And I feel like I was there for her to get her through that. And I did my time. And I learned a lot of independence during that time. So when I came back home, I was a little discouraged because I'm like, okay, well, I thought I had the next 4 years of my life planned out for me.
Right.
But I was like, something's got to give. So I was like, either I'm just going to work and get my own place and just live life. But the other side of me was like, I want to go to school. So I looked up programs here in Tulsa, and then I found a nursing program that was 13 months.
Oh, wow.
I enrolled. I took my entrance exam, and here I am now, 6 years later.
Hey. So did you get like your bachelor's before that, or can you just go to straight into nursing school?
Went.
Damn.
Yeah, had my high school diploma.
Okay.
Graduate high school. Yeah, and I took an entrance exam, and yeah.
That's what's up. I wanted to go to the military a couple months ago because I lost so much weight.
Yeah.
And I was, in my mind, I thought it was a little different, right? I thought I was able to do basics and then my son would be able to live with me. Was not the case, right?
You gotta be home.
Right. And I also had to like sign my rights away to his mom, and I was like, yeah, 2 thumbs down with that. And she's not that cool.
Yeah.
And it hurt me a little bit because like you said, the discipline and just the accomplishment of just doing something above and beyond.
Right.
And like you said, just being there for a little bit, I feel like just that thought process of wanting to do it really encouraged me to continue to be great outside of just trying to be that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what else am I going to do? I tried to do firefighting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that would have been great. But that EMT class, ooh, girl. I was like, yeah, I'm not smart enough for this.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Do it. You could be a firefighter.
Yeah, I can. I wanted to be on one of their calendars.
Yeah. Your straps.
Yes. They're like,
Yes.
it's like, why does this firefighter got stretch? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm handsome, okay?
There you go. Yes. I've always liked firefighters over EMTs and police officers and stuff.
Because, well, when I started to get a little bit more familiar with it, like firefighters are literally like the heroes for real, because they save, like they have to go through EMT training to save lives, to get people, and cops only show up when shit's over. Like, I don't do that. But
firefighters get cats out of trees and everything.
Yeah, man.
They mow their own lawn outside of their what is it called?
Fire station?
Yeah, I almost called it a firehouse. I don't know.
Same thing to me.
They cook.
They wash their own truck.
Yeah. They're like good citizens.
Right. Man, my heart be throbbing when a cop gets behind me. I'm like, why? Especially when I like know where I'm going and he turns to say, well, I'm like, nigga, you wasn't going this way for real. If I went the other way, you wouldn't have turned.
We're black. We have targets on our back.
Oh, that shit scares me.
It is. I can't stand it. I'm like, we're scared of you, right?
Right. Like, and it makes me feel like less than a man, especially like when my son's in the car, because like my whole thing is to protect him, and my whole thing is to be daddy or a man. But knowing that I'm powerless to another man or another woman, like
it's not a fair fight.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. And one thing about just young black people is how out of our control it is for our children. You know, probably if you ask your mom how scary it was when y'all growing up, like
she's still scared.
Yeah, like with Elijah, white people love him now. Oh, how cute. He's adorable. But when will there come a time where you're locking your door when he walks by?
Right.
Or he looks too ghetto for your comfort. And it terrifies me.
Yeah, because we all face racism.
Yeah, and even though you can teach him to be the most prestige person ever, it doesn't matter.
You can't hide it.
Right, like that the little boy, I think his name's Elijah as well. Oh, he's not a little boy, he's a teenager.
Oh, okay.
But he had some type of mental disorder, and the cops like gave him a shot of some drug and killed him. And I don't know if it was like a direct quote, but he was like, I'm different, because I guess they were like
I'm not one of those.
Yeah, well, not even one of those, just like he didn't understand because he was walking somewhere, and I'll probably have to send it to you if you'd like. But yeah, it was crazy.
Why did they even have medicine on hand to inject him?
I have
That's
no idea.
Weird.
I have no idea. But yeah, it's just really difficult being, because I think America is, well, in other countries who had slaves, but like we're the only people that are still in the land of our captivity, thriving. But
are we though?
True.
Materialism.
Yeah, when I say thriving, I mean more so of like sports players, rappers. That's not thriving like legit, but
I'm sick of us feeding into entertainment.
Exactly. Like
we're not jokes.
Man, and I saw this thing. It was like, stop telling young black boys that they can be basketball players and football players.
We need mechanics, engineers. We need all that.
Right. Because man, you get some of these kids that grow up thinking that they're going to be the next LeBron or be the next Jordan, and then they get injured or they don't get picked, and now it's like, who am I?
Right.
I've been so ingrained into thinking I can be the savior for the hood. Mm-hmm. Like my cousin, he plays for Central Michigan, I believe. But I had him on the podcast, and there was a time in his life where he almost committed suicide. And knowing how he grew up and knowing the things that we all had to endure, plus being gifted, like he had grown men coming up to him being like, man, you're the best, like sir, you got kids there, like, why are you giving me all this praise but you haven't seen your son in 5 days, right? And it's just really difficult on us as a people to try to live up to expectations that are unrealistic, because when you do make it, now it's like, I was there to support you. It's not.
And then they go marry a white girl.
Exactly. It's true. Man, Kanye West said it's the best.
Like, it just cut off a legacy, but okay.
Yeah, and see, what? Like I said, I love everybody, right? But why do you think? Like, I think we talked about it earlier, but why do you think black men go for white women?
Because it's easy.
Yeah, because, I mean, they, like, okay, I like nice booties, right? So I'll look at a white booty, but, like, anything else, I'm like.
Not a white booty.
Well, like, I'll look.
Yeah.
But,
The
like,
booty of a white lady.
yeah, but, like, other than that, I'm like,
Yeah,
it's all right.
ass at the end of the
Right,
day.
because I'm not going to whistle at you, lady, and you have people coming by. That's a little dark joke, but. Why they be doing that?
I know.
They be doing that.
They'll flip the switch real quick.
Man, but yeah, so it's easier how? Because for people who don't know, because I know a lot of women, you all are not pushovers in a sense when it comes to like just being you.
And like I said, we stand for something.
Yeah, and some women do like get trampled on or have baby daddies that are not worth it. But like a woman like you, I know that you'll stand up for yourself, regardless of who is in front of you.
Right.
So I can see that. So,
but easier, like I feel like, first of all, black men need to realize that they are fetishized by white women. Not all of them, and I'm not speaking like every white woman has that motive, but some of them, they'll go date a black guy just to piss their racist dad off, or just to. It's a form of rebellion. So it's like they don't even like you for you. They like you because you're black. Yeah. And why is that enough? Like, I don't know. It's weird. True. I can't explain it because it's crazy.
It gets frustrating, right?
Yeah. And a lot of them they're more than willing to take care of a black man.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this video. I think this guy was married to 3 white women and he was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. Because we're not going to let you do that.
Right.
Because you need to get up and go to work. And now, I've done that. I've played the taking care of a man thing.
Ooh, 2 thumbs down for that.
I know.
Man.
I lost cool points, but I was young. I wouldn't do it today.
Right. Like,
so.
And that's the thing that I had to start realizing is the choices that we make when we are young shouldn't affect us when we try to be better people in the future. Right. Our actions may affect us. Like me having a child, it sucks, in my opinion. Because now if I want to date, I'm bringing whomever into a position that is not ideal for her. Yeah, it's not ideal, right? And when I look at other women who have children as well, which is bad. I kind of, not like resentment, but it's hard for me to be like, to try to get to know her because I know the type
what comes with it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know what type of man I am, but I don't know what type of man you're and gotcha. I'm not the type of nigga who will fight over a girl, right? Yeah. That's not me at all. Right. But another thing is I have too much to lose as of right now. And coming home safe is like my biggest thing. And I feel like what us as a culture needs to start understanding is it's okay to experience just life, right? Yes. But like having sex before your brain even understands the consequences, like there's people who 16, 17, 18 having children. Like I had my son at 21. I still didn't know what life was. Like I just turned 26 in September, and I feel like I'm just hitting the peak of understanding what life is.
That frontal lobe development.
Right.
I just turned 25 in September, and I was so excited.
September
for that.
what?
11th.
Mine's 23rd.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and once we start to like step back and realize like, man, if we just live life.
Yes.
And understand that life has so much to offer. Like now, because of my son, I feel like, yes, I lost a lot of weight. I became a great man. And I feel like me and him are going to see the world. Yeah. But how much easier would it have been to be this man now and then have him? Right. Right? Instead of having to learn and having to go through all this pain and trauma.
Now y'all going to grow up together.
That is true. Yeah. Because, man, that boy.
And these kids can teach us a lot.
Yeah, like, I get upset sometimes, and he calls me Pumpkin. Aww. And he's like, Pumpkin, calm down and breathe. He's like, that's what they tell me at school. It's calm down to breathe. I was like, man, you calm down, okay? You just in there throwing a fit, okay?
So cute. I'm not over it.
Yeah, he says it as if people knows like that's my name. He'd be like, yeah, I'll be at my pumpkin house. I'd be like, I'm Pumpkin if y'all didn't know.
That is cute. I cannot.
Yeah, he's so adorable.
I love that. I know, you post him all the time.
Cause I have him all the damn time. I want people to know I'm a good dad, okay?
It's like I'm present.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
He's gonna love you for that.
I hope so. I hope he becomes a basketball player. Take care of daddy when you see this. But no, and that's the thing that black men need to start understanding is the impact that you have on just a child.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of women that didn't have a father present, and I start to see how destroyed their character is. They're not as confident, or they're not as
and you know
loved.
It's said that confidence comes from our father.
Yeah. And I my father was present, but not present enough to say I had a father. If that makes sense. I had a friend. And now that I'm a father, like, he didn't teach me how to fight. He didn't teach me how to talk to women. He called me fat more times than he said I love you. And it got to a point to where when I had a son, it not made me resentful to my father, but I started to see how easy this shit is to be a dad. One thing this man told me, not my father, but this man who I known, and he was like, Julian, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what you look like. As long as you're present. As long as you're present. That's all they care for. Right? If they're nervous during a basketball game, they see you in the stands.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling. I didn't get to experience that. And seeing all these men, like, you'll see videos of like couples, they get together. I'm just all over because it frustrates me because of like the importance, and you see all these kids that grow up to be damaged adults because of that.
Yeah.
And I was one of those damaged adults. I didn't like go off the rail with like hurting people or stealing.
Right.
I fell in love with a woman who was killing me, like. And not to say I didn't have my own traumas and things into that. Right. But like you were saying with your mom, if she didn't give you the love that you needed to feel beautiful about yourself, who knows if you would have been here today? Or who knows if you would look as gorgeous as you do now? You're welcome. But it just, it needs to stop somewhere. Yeah. And now this newer generation, they're just more fucked up than we are. And like we came up in an age where like technology was newer. Yeah, like,
it was developing. For sure. I remember learning how to use Microsoft and PowerPoint.
I remember when the first iPhone came out. But now these kids are just, they're so plugged into this matrix. Yes. That it doesn't, like, consequences doesn't make sense to them. Like my cousin.
And they're not afraid of consequences either. They don't care.
Which is crazy.
I know.
What is this new thing? The YNs, the young niggas.
People was dressing up as them for Halloween.
Guys, I got stuff to come home to. Don't jump out on me, okay? Because I'm not fighting. I'll run you over. Oh. I pay insurance as well.
Oh my god!
Just for those,
it's covered.
Right, but no, it makes me afraid because now we're just as destructive as when we were just Bloods versus Crips or the drug era. Because now it's just. You have more likes than me, or this girl finds you. Come on now, man.
Stupid.
So now that you're 25 and that frontal lobe, is it 25 for women or 21 when the frontal lobe?
Well, we've always been a little smarter.
That is true. That is true. So now that you became a woman and you see your life a certain way, how do you still plan for the future? How do you still say, there's more for me to reach? Because you said now you want to go back to school, have your own practice. So what is that with being accomplished and still wanting to accomplish more? Was it a great question?
It was.
Thank you.
I'm stumped. I've always wanted great things for myself. Since I was young. I remember I made a whole timeline, like, this is what I always knew I was going to be successful. I knew there was greatness in me, and now I don't know exactly where it's going, but I know
Right.
it's going to be great, period. And one goal I made for myself this year was to live. And once I started living, other things fell into place. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I've been receiving everything that I need to
Yeah.
get to where I'm going.
So when you say living, what does that mean? Just embracing yourself, doing things that you haven't done
Embracing
before?
myself. And with everything that I went through these past few years of my life, I've had to really tap in with myself and learn myself again. So, yeah. I don't know. I've just been learning and living. I got really focused in on my career and was just work.
Yeah.
And so now I've been reestablishing existing relationships, letting go of ones that I don't need to hold on to anymore, and just making sure my sense of self is where it needs to be.
Right.
Are you familiar with the hierarchy of needs?
I don't think so.
I believe it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's like a tier. It's like a triangle, and there's like 5 tiers, and it has like security, safety, your health, and if one of those things are out of balance, it starts to affect all the other tiers.
Right.
And so I just make sure all around that I'm fulfilled.
Yeah.
And God has helped me a lot with that. My
For sure.
relationship with God has helped me a lot.
And that's something that I had to come to terms with, is being okay with the stuff that you cannot control.
Right.
There is this, this may sound ghetto, but like I said, I'm a single dad, and everything you see here I pay for, right?
Okay.
And I was trying to buy some food stamps off this lady.
That's illegal. You're going to have to edit that.
Allegedly trying to buy it. I didn't, right? I didn't. I tried and I didn't. Statute of limitations, guys.
It's illegal.
Golly. Anyway. This is the meaning behind this, guys. So let it slide. There's a meaning. Not a meaning, but there's a... Anyway,
Okay.
So I end up not getting
Gotcha.
the food stamps, right? But I was out of money, because I sent it to her and she didn't.
So she's scammed.
Yeah.
I've been scammed.
I hate it.
times.
It makes me feel so dumb.
I'm like, I knew better.
Right.
But you try not. You give benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
that's the thing. And like, she was a single mom. She was like, hey, I needed gas, all this extra stuff. So, and anyway, regardless. So instead of crashing out and doing things that are unnecessary, I just made an effort to be like, all right, it's cool.
Yeah, took
right?
an L.
Yeah, and hopefully she needed it more than I don't know, whatever the case. But in that time, I got $200 from my pastor. I got some other blessings from other people.
That's
and
great.
then she ended up giving me my money back.
Look at her.
Right? And when I look back at this time, and I'm like, man, if we were all God and we saw everything as just it,
Yeah.
we would have seen that everything would have fell in place.
Yes.
We would have saw that it would have been okay.
And that's when faith comes in, because
Right.
we don't see all that.
For sure. But when we crash out,
Yeah.
I hate that new word. I think it's when we do things, like when we over exaggerate things.
It's called crashing out.
Yeah. Okay. Crashing out. Because I feel like I'm to an age where I can't be using these young people slang anymore.
Hey, I think that's one cool part about Gen Z. Like, we know the old, but we also keep up with the new. And it comes
sure.
natural to us. It's not like we have to learn, like, what's
Yeah.
going on. Like,
Well, shit, I do.
probably because you're a dad now.
That is true. My son
Yeah.
calls me old man. And I'm like, who the hell do you think you are, kid?
You're old to him.
Yeah, that is true. But I'm like, man, I'm only 26.
You're a young adult.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
you're a mid-age adult, like a mid-20s, latter end.
Yeah. 4
Pushing
years, I'm
30.
30. Man, pushing T's.
Maybe you are
Pushing
old.
30. Maybe. Golly. I need to do something with my life. Come on, podcast. Can we hurry up and make some money?
Yes, y'all.
Damn. I'm a good podcaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot where we were even going with that. But yeah, if we see everything as God does, we would understand that life is going to be okay. Like if you didn't have that faith that you would be taken care of when you stopped
Right.
or when you took a step back from being a nurse, you wouldn't have embraced the aesthetics.
There you go.
I also have a lisp as well, so
I didn't notice.
Yeah, because I have this close, man. But you'll probably hear it.
Okay.
But yes, like having God in the center of our life, because my cousin, he killed someone on, I wouldn't say accident, because what he did wasn't an accident, but how it so he shot through a door and it hit somebody.
Okay.
And just in that moment of time, if he understood that, hey, this, whatever this is, whatever is going to happen is going to affect me. And we always have to, I don't feel like, I mean, of course God knows everything, but I don't feel like things are set in stone until we make an option.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, if we go left, everything from left starts to open up. And if we went right.
But it's like continuous, like door
Yeah.
after door after door.
And if we just understand that life is going to be okay, and we just keep going through things of ourselves, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
But we get to this, I mean, I'm guilty of this, of being afraid of, like, dying or not being great. And I have this quote. It's like, don't be afraid of dying young. Be afraid of living a long life and not accomplishing everything.
There you go.
Because in me, that is more torture than just dying young.
Yeah.
You know, at least I'm going to die chasing after what I want. You know, there was one time I had COVID, but I was still pretty big. I was like probably still 3-something. And I was getting over COVID, but I was still wheezing and stuff like that. But I was in the boxing gym by myself.
I don't know what that was funny.
Wheezing? I don't know. I was dying. Man.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
For big people, you know, right? When those lungs not lunging.
And I think that's why it's funny, like, because I could picture.
One of those that
I got my stethoscope in the car.
Thank you.
Okay.
But no, I mean,
Yes.
my blood pressure's good now, and my heart's good. And that's an accomplishment I didn't know that I would be happy about. Like
Good health?
Health is wealth, guys.
It is.
It really is.
Yes.
I've changed a lot. But yeah, so I was in the gym and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I would rather die right here, proving that I was trying to be great, instead of being at home dying on the couch. That's not cool.
Well done, good and faithful.
Thank you. Hopefully, I hear that one day.
I think you will.
I be getting in my head about that.
Well, discouragement it happens.
Yeah. So with everything that you did, everything that you've learned, you're back into nursing, right? What was that like? Saying, okay, I've took the break that I needed to. I'm where I want to be mentally. Let me try this again.
I think. Ask me one more time.
For sure. So going back into nursing,
Yes.
what was that thought process like for you? Saying, okay, I've done everything in my opinion that I need to do to be a better me. I'm now going to go back into what I chose, that you wanted, because it wasn't for her for real. She wanted to be a doctor, guys.
Sure, I need
But
to
she's
be the
about to have her
boss.
own practice.
Yes. So when I went back into it, I had a positive mindset, but I wasn't excited about it because at that time, money was on my mind. And that was at the beginning of this year. And I settled for less. And from the moment I started at this place, I was just like, I tried to find the positive attributes to it. But deep down, I'm like,
So
I was being like hyper positive, like, I like it at office.
Yeah.
It's different. I've not been in this setting yet. I was just trying to see the good in it all. But I was underappreciated. And this goes into having to prove myself. And like I sat with the manager and she's like, people underestimate me all the time. And it makes me just want to prove them wrong. I'm like, I'm not here to prove anything.
Right.
I've done this. I've been doing it. you're not about to feed me this, and I'm not going to let people disrespect me while I'm here either. And you're the manager.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
this
crazy.
office is too small
Right.
for us to, like, the respect was not there. And I stayed there for about 5 months. 5 months too long.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. And so I quit. And when they found out I was quitting, they just sent me home. And they thought I was going to be like, you could tell they wanted a different reaction from me. But I left with a smile on my face, and I was like, bye.
Yeah.
And they're looking like, I was like, yeah.
This
is a relief.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I celebrated that night. I'm like, I'm out of here. And
is that the night you were supposed to be on the podcast? It was like, I was tired.
No. What happened that time? I was tired.
I was like, man, that makes sense. Because there's days I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I did not.
Sometimes I overcommit. I'm learning to not do that so much. But, and this is when I really got into doing things on my own terms and remembering what worked for me. I think sometimes we got to go back to home base, like what works for you and what did not. Because a lot of those things don't change. So I work now better on a PRN schedule. I like creating my own schedule. And I've noticed in this field, I'm more appreciated when they need me.
Good.
I notice when you're core staff, they don't appreciate you anymore because they're used to you being there.
Yeah.
And they feel like you need them. I'm like, y'all need me. And so I've stood on that, and things are great.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's dope. When I heard this quote, and I don't remember how it went fully, but basically it was like, don't kill yourself for a job that can replace you the next day.
In a heartbeat.
Right.
These jobs do not care about you.
Yeah,
They don't.
They don't. I got fired from a job because they wanted me to work. It's a dispensary, actually. They wanted me to work the weekends so I can sell more product because people liked me.
Okay.
I told them no. I had 2 podcasts at the time, but my comic book podcast was on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
That's cool.
But they wanted me to work, and then they were like, you know what, we're cutting you down to 2 days then. So trying to force me to quit. And they were like, well, we talked about your performance. You don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, and this. So hopefully now, with these days that you have free, you can focus on your podcast. And let us know.
Not the shade.
Right, and let us know if we can do anything else for you. Bitch, give me more hours.
Because they're punishing me now for having a backbone.
Yes.
They don't want you to stand up for yourself.
Not at all. And that's the frustrating thing, especially with black people. Because
they test us.
Yeah, it can go 2 ways. Either we be like, fuck this job, we don't need this job, and then we miss out on opportunities because we burn bridges or we do things like that.
Yeah.
Or they run over us.
Yep. And there's no in between.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Like, I know Mr. Johnson's going to come because this is all Mr. Johnson can do.
Right.
No.
Ugh.
No, Mr. Johnson is just afraid that you will fire him when he has 5 kids to take care of. Right?
Yeah.
And it's a beauty to see women like you, or just people like you, period. Black people like you. I don't want to say people, because y'all doing okay. Right? Y'all doing fine.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, especially black women like you. It proves and it shows that there's value in being yourself.
Yes.
There's value of loving yourself.
Yes.
And once these young women start to understand, I feel like now what is the word I'm looking for? Their acceptance or their morals go up and their values go up.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to settle for these young niggas because I have so much more to lose.
Exactly.
Or I'm not going to let somebody talk to me because I know my worth.
Right.
And I talk to a lot of women, and it's kind of frustrating because now that I'm starting to look handsome, all these women be like, I'm out of my hoe face, and I'm like, come on, guys, holler at me, man. But no, and it's like, why do we as black people feel like we need to be that type of way, like having a hoe phase or having different things that in the long run we're going to look back and be like, how dare I disrespect myself like that, or how can I allow myself to be this and this. And I got to a point to where I was eternally thinking that as well, like I would be overly nice just to see if I can talk to this woman, or if and I'm just like, Julian, who are you, really like a good man, or are you
pretending?
Right. And I had to take that step back and be like, you know what?
I think that's rooted in trauma. We are a traumatized community.
Right.
And the more we stop sweeping these things under the rug, and having these conversations that need to be discussed, voicing our, and I think we share the trauma because it's so many of us and the trauma is so deep. And I feel like we all share a load of that.
Right.
And the more we share our stories, I think the more we'll be released from those chains.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we gotta get right.
I agree.
But we also can't keep holding the hands of people that aren't ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to learn that.
For sure. I mean, Chris Rock said it the best. Mm-hmm. He was like, there's two types of black people. There's black people and then there's niggas.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't, of course, you can't help people who don't want to be helped.
And it's hard because it's usually the people closest to us, the ones we care about the most.
I agree. Like, I got the most love from people who I, like, only met months ago or a year ago. Things of that nature.
Yeah.
And it's okay because when you stop looking at relationships as like, oh, it has to be blood or it has to be, no, family is really people who support you, who love you, who make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
And
I feel like people that don't constantly remind you of your past.
Yeah.
The past is yesterday.
That is true. I was driving somewhere and I was like, I hate that people do like New Year, New Me or things of, I feel like we need to start having, I think I called it winter cleaning.
Yeah.
Like how people have spring cleaning.
Yes.
You can choose today to be a different person. Yep. And if you believe that in your heart, who cares what other people think?
Right.
Like I was a man who used to quit jobs. I was a man who used to DoorDash to get rent, and I still had to ask people for money. And when I started to be different, there were some people who looked at me as the same, and it started to be frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, do you not see the actions?
Right.
And that's one thing my son's mom didn't understand is the actions that I was just trying to put into us and into myself to show something different. And there was this battle rapper, actually. He makes a whole bunch of money now. He done music with Mozzie, etc. And he was like, talk to me at a place that I am and not where I used to be.
There you go.
Because I'm not that, like, you can't say, oh, you used to be broke and then I'm not broke no more. Or
like,
you
why
used
is that relevant?
Or you used to be a bad man. Well, am I a bad man now?
Right.
I understand there's going to be people who see you as a villain in their story, but be a hero of your own.
There you go.
So, two more topics,
okay.
if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Modeling, right? You're a model?
I've been dabbling.
Because that's how I know you. Well, not through modeling. So this is how I saw you, right?
Gotcha.
Because I the people you may know on Facebook,
I
was like, oh damn, she's really pretty. Oh, I think we went to school together. Just a friend, right?
Yeah.
And then I started like seeing you modeling. I was like, oh, that's dope. So when you say you were a nurse and stuff, I was like, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I don't really post a lot about that part of my life.
So what is that like? I mean, of course, you did cheerleading, you did pom, so you're used to being quote unquote center of attention. But this is a little different. There is a method to the madness of modeling. One thing I remember from Tyra Banks from American Next. I used to love American Next Top Model.
It's so good.
Especially when they did like the Halloween ones and stuff.
The spider on the face.
Right.
Yes, that was iconic.
But she was like, we're all rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you. Don't you dare.
Right. Like that's one thing I remember about modeling. But what was that like for you to dabble in modeling?
You know, I don't know why I keep I'm tired because I'm hungry. I'm sorry.
Modeling's cool, guys. This? No. It's all right.
I'm the same way. Like, if I make content, I don't edit it. It's whatever.
Because we're human.
Yes.
It's all right.
So, I was exposed to the scene last year because I was a makeup artist for a fashion show.
Right.
And that was a part of me, like, when I was still reserved and very humble. I liked just being behind the scenes, but not being the center of attention.
Right.
I think that comes with a lot of pressure, and confidence is required. I've not always been confident. So anyway, so I got exposed to the scene, and then this year, especially after completing my aesthetics and just being more bold about who I am and what I'm capable of, I thought to myself, I'm like, I saw a casting call.
Okay.
And it was for the same fashion show I participated in as a makeup artist. And so I showed up to the casting call, and I've always had a good walk. Like, I love a good heel. I've always...
Is it heel toe? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, but it's natural for me.
Okay.
And it feels like, when I'm on the runway, it feels like I'm just walking down the street in my cute outfit. So it's easy.
Man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the vibe. I like walking to the beat of the music.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm a natural in there, in that aspect.
Yeah.
Now, posing, it's difficult.
Yeah, for people who don't know, this thumbnail that we were trying to do,
Yeah.
it took like 30 seconds to figure out what we gonna do.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the posing is weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't get it either.
Yeah, but the walk, I got that. So I've done that, and then I did another fashion show in Greenwood a few months ago. That was cool.
And it's something you like to do. You wouldn't pursue it
It's
anymore.
not like, oh, I want to be the next big model. Like,
Yeah.
It was just something to do.
Just fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Just to have, like, things under your belt.
Yeah.
And just experience. Because 30 years from now.
Right. And when people do see me, like, all made up and just on a regular basis, they're like, do you model? You have to be a model because, like, look at you. And I'm just like, no. But now I can say, actually, yeah, I've done a little bit.
Right. And that actually, I want to shout you out because that proves the love that you have for yourself. Because, like you said, keeping up with your appearance really shows something about somebody.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't understand that until I started losing weight. Because I'm like, man, like, I don't want to keep wearing big clothes. I don't, like, I don't want to
hide behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, shoot, my shoes would all lean to one side. You met big people before, right? It's just, like, dude, it's different things. Like, I want to look more grown up. I want to look like a man. You feel me? Like, have you seen Girls Trip?
Yes.
You know the black dude from Girls Trip that was with Jada Pinkett?
I don't really remember. I only watched it once. I'll have to watch it again.
Black dudes with, like, abs, nice beard, on a horse.
Oh,
that's how I want to look. You feel me?
Specifically on a horse, or
if I look good on the horse, I think I look good on anything.
Okay, cowboy.
But no, it's just when we start to love ourselves more, it starts to show, and then people.
I was trying not to cuss on here, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, I've been cussing a lot. My apologies.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry. Man, my mom don't watch these.
Oh well. And it's not excessive.
She don't support me. I'm just playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my mom watch this.
Oh, I appreciate
it.
Put
it on TV.
Shout out to your mom.
Yes.
What's her name?
Tamara.
Shout out to you, Tamara. You made a wonderful woman.
She'll be proud to hear that.
But yeah, I mean, now it gets to a point where we start to, like, literally radiate.
Yes.
When people, like, people on the podcast will get sick of me hearing or saying this, but when I had my latest poetry event, it was so my boxing gym also has a Zumba class.
Oh.
So it was in the Zumba class, and I was going to the boxing gym to tell the owner I was done. But there was this girl in there. She stayed in there when he went to lock up, and she was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I've seen you in here, like, when you first started or whatever. And I just want to let you know that you look amazing. I'm proud of you. Your skin looks good. The way you walked in, like, it felt masculine." And I was like, damn, hold on. My baby mama, she was not this type of encouraging. You feel
seen.
Me? Yes. And I felt acknowledged.
Yeah.
And that was the man I wanted to be. But again, with that imposter syndrome, I don't accept it as much. Like, 169 pounds is ridiculous. But again, it's like,
it's significant.
But you allowed yourself to be this way. You did this to yourself, and I'm still fat. You feel me? Like, I still got another probably 100 to lose. You feel me? And which is okay, because now it's a lifestyle, and it's okay. But being okay with knowing something is your fault, but not letting it affect your day to day or how you're going to move forward.
Like the self-pity.
Exactly. Yeah, because there's nothing down there besides more pain and more hurt.
Yep.
You know, so
either do something about it or stop talking about it.
For sure. All right, so last thing, and I feel like it's a pretty big thing, and it's relationships.
Oh.
You mentioned earlier that you supported somebody for a little bit of your time.
Yeah.
But how has that been for you? Like, just as a black woman, trying to stay true to yourself, try to have your own morals and values, and still be out here in this world dating.
I'm getting sick of it because if you look around, a lot of us black women, we make it a point to better ourselves, educate ourselves, and all around just not be who we were before.
Right.
And then we have these dusties come in that distract us, and we allow them, depending on where we're at in our life. And they can take from you. You know, sometimes, and it's happened to me, like, I'll get to dating somebody, and I'm starting to kind of, like, fall off a little bit, and I'm like,
yeah,
you're a leech. You gotta go. But it's tough being a successful woman and being with a man that doesn't have the same drive as you.
I agree.
And like I said, we can only encourage so much. I gotta let go of your hand because...
You're a man. You're not a boy.
You're a man, and you're older than me. So,
yeah,
I should be learning from you.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing.
It is, and I do not like being embarrassed.
I hate being embarrassed. Oh my god.
Yeah, like, ew. Now I have the ick, and I'm turned off, and I'm no longer attracted to you because I do give people a chance, but I'm tired of allowing someone to claim me that's not up to par.
Yeah.
I'm up to par, so I need you to be the same way.
Exactly. And I don't know if you saw the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot. It's amazing.
Okay.
And the reason I love it is because of the relationship Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil has. Two successful black individuals. Do things separately. And they have their own careers and they both thrive. But when they come together, they're a power couple.
Okay.
And even when they're not, you feel me? They do certain things to show the other person that I still love you.
Yeah.
There was a part in the season where Uncle Phil, he got kissed by this girl who he cheated with, like, when they were in college.
Okay.
And the mom, like, found out. And it, like, destroyed her. She didn't know what was going on, didn't know her left from her right. But she had this realization of, I'm me. Like, I'm not Aunt Viv, I'm not wife, I'm Vivian. And she had to, like, burst out and go, like, she went to a club and, like, was partying with her friends. And we get so caught up, especially women, caught up in who
our individuality gets lost in a relationship.
Yep. They start to think who they are or who they became and not who they are for real. Like my friend, I was like, girl, you need to, like, chill. Like, you take care of both your girls. You take care of your boyfriend. You, like, she
what
paid.
Do you do for you?
Right. Like, she has her own house now. And I'm like, 2 cars. I'm like, man. There was one day her and her boyfriend got into an argument. She took the keys from him. I'm like, oh my. Then you ain't using my car to drive off nowhere.
Nope. You're stuck.
Right. Oh no. She was like, you need to have your grandma come pick you up.
Right. But don't get it twisted.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like women are so nurturing and caring, especially ones who love black men, because you want to believe in them. You want to show them that you are worth it. But again, they don't know how to accept it.
No, and we've not given up on them. And I think black men have given up on us or really haven't even given us a chance. And I do think that's why we've seen them go to white women. Yeah. They don't even try over here.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe we'll see an increase in black women finally stepping out, but I don't know if we will. Because I've never dated a white man before.
You don't need to.
I don't think I'm missing out.
No.
I've thought about it, though, but, like, on some sugar daddy type stuff. Yeah. But other than that, like, I don't see it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, imagine going to his house for Thanksgiving. Yeah. And you ain't liking nothing.
I don't have time for the questions, playing catch up.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Not my vibe.
Yeah. And, like, with me, I've, like, even though I don't do a lot, but, like, if a woman didn't want to, like, better herself in the gym or didn't want to have her own bit, like, just the certain things,
like some sort of goal,
right? And it really turns me off as well, because, like, outside of sex, what value do you bring to my life?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, women didn't find me attractive, in my opinion. Like, I've only had sex with 4, I believe. And after a certain period of time, even like when my son's mom cheated on me.
Oh, okay.
So we all, as men, feel like we need to get back, or we feel less than a man. And then after that time, I'm like, Julian, what was this for? You don't feel better. No band came out and played in your honor. You just have another secret to keep. And it hurt me for a long time.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten to a point to where it's like, I'm just in love with myself now.
Good.
And it took 26 years to actually feel that. But, you know, like the muscle definition that I'm seeing or the compliments I'm getting from people, I'm starting to appreciate it a little bit more, because it's like, you are special. You are great. And when I was like, man, thank you for like reaching back out, because like I said, people would say, oh, I'll let you know, and then never let me know.
Yeah. I love to keep my word, because our word is sometimes all we have.
That is true.
And I can't stand it when other people don't keep their word.
Yeah. Like now,
you know, every once in a while, okay, you know, things happen.
For sure.
You're known for not keeping your word. Nope, can't trust you.
Like now, I hate being late wherever I go.
Yes.
Like I have to, because it's my
reflection.
character.
Yes.
Yeah, it's who I am, and I don't want people, like, of course you can't control how people feel about you when you're gone. Yeah. But I at least want the positive to outweigh the negatives and whatever. I'm not doing that to please people. I'm doing it to just be a better me, and then again show people that it's possible. That's why I post almost every day, like a gym picture, because I want people to know, okay, you didn't go to the gym, that's fine, somebody did, right? And I want you to know that through me it's possible. You know, and I can't be lenient on people anymore, for the simple fact I know what this life consists of. Yeah. And I feel like when people take it for granted, I'm like, wow, it's like a slap in the face. Because like I said, those COVID days, or the time where I was out of breath walking a mile. Oh, here we go. You go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay. It's okay. I can run 5 miles now without stopping.
Look, I can't. I cannot.
Man, the first time I did that, I was like, why do I do these things? Like, it made me mad. Because, like, there's one time I was like, all right, I'm going to run 3 miles. Yeah. I did it. And then I was like, what if I can run 5?
And you just run them straight?
Without stopping.
Nah, I'd be out of breath.
I ran so long that the treadmill just stopped working. I had to turn it back on. Because, like, after an hour and something, it turns off. It took me 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 38 seconds to run 5 miles.
That's great.
Yeah. I was... I almost died.
I bet. I would have.
Yeah, and... But anyway, it's what I've came to realize, that even though it sucked, and even though in that moment I thought I was going to die, weeks and months later, I'm still here. And now I can say I did it, instead of quitting and be like, shit, I wish I did. So, I don't know if you are in a relationship now. No. But if you do choose to find a man, what qualities are you looking for? Because, again, you said you need to be up to par. What does that up to par look like? Because a lot of women will think, okay, if he has his own place, or if he has his own this, he's okay. But it's deeper. He needs to treat you with respect. He needs to love you. He needs to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I want a man that's like God. Period.
For the people who don't know God.
For the people that don't know God, I need a righteous man. I need an honest man. I need a caring yet firm man. I need a confident man. What else?
A protector. God protected his people.
He sure did.
To the extreme, too. There's some people we don't hear about no more.
They did what?
Ask Pharaoh what happened. This nigga hasn't been able to swim since.
But I also want someone fun and balanced and just like cool, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like wants good things for themselves. Like
Yeah.
I don't want someone that is okay with being taken care of every step of the way.
Right.
You know, I think those things come as needed.
And that was a characteristic that I built. Like, I've been here, I think, 5 or 6 years, and I've been doing this by myself for about 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I've picked up, I never thought I would have learned just in my, like, when I was younger.
Yeah.
So, with my car, I had a Dodge Journey.
Mm-hmm.
I paid it off, and then I got my GMC.
Okay.
And then I had like the iPhone 12 or whatever, paid that off and got the 13.
Okay.
And I was like, man, looking back at the man that I used to be, I used to have to ask money for my car payment or my phone bill. And now I'm doing things that when I look at people who I think are men. Oh yeah, she's hungry for real. But yeah, I look at these things and I'm like, Julian, you're amazing, man. Like, I need to start appreciating myself and looking towards putting myself in a position to where it's more manageable for me.
Yeah.
What does that look like? I have no idea.
Right.
There's sometimes I still get upset with the lack of attention I get or stuff from my son's mom that irritates me.
Yeah.
But again, it's like 15 years, 20 years from now, everything that we talk about in this time of our lives, we probably won't even remember. All the people that hurt our feelings.
Oh, yeah.
When we're 30, when we're 35, who knows them, right?
Right.
Like, those people who used to make fun of you, you probably don't even know them anymore.
Well, I do.
You want me to beat them up?
No, you have to.
Man, because how dare y'all? Right?
Yeah.
They're probably not nurses. They probably 2 thumbs down. I was going to say suck, but
2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down hurts more. But yeah, I mean, you're doing amazing.
Thanks.
It's always a joy to see things that you post. I'm like, damn, people need to start like looking at this and not see it as competition, but as a standard of living.
Like, what can I learn from this?
Exactly, because I mean, I have 3 sisters, and they're doing great, but I don't know how to say it because I have 3 sisters and they're all younger.
Okay.
But she's like the oldest of the younger.
Gotcha.
Yes, I don't know how to say that. But she's about to have her daughter in March, I believe. And seeing some of the things that she still struggles with relationships with like our parents or trying to find herself. She lost friends because of how different she tried to move or just having a relationship, and I wish that she had an influence with women like you to show that, hey, it's
right, it's not a loss,
right, it's a better side of this.
If anything, it's a loss to them.
Exactly. So again, I mean, I appreciate everything that you've said on here. You've done amazing. So any closing thing that you would like to tell to the women who look like you?
Well, we already answered that one.
We did. Oh yeah, earlier. Damn, I knew I messed myself up somewhere.
That's okay.
Well, that's this is my podcast. I was gonna end on that, guys. Damn it. Well, what do you think you're gonna go eat?
I don't know. Something hearty. I like a good comfort food. I don't know.
You like oxtail?
I've had it once.
I've never had it, but people say
There's
it's
somewhere
good.
here to get it.
I don't know.
We're about to go get some oxtail, y'all.
From us to you all.
Should we be eating oxen's tails?
Isn't just their tail though?
Yeah, they cut up their tail.
You eat meat? Like we eat other meat?
But like, do we eat tails though?
Better than Rocky Mountain oysters.
Those are balls, if you don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to say balls because.
Do you do ASMR?
No.
We need to do a mukbang.
We do. You want to do it?
Yes, like for real.
What food do you want to get?
Anything.
All right, we
Not
can do
seafood
that.
though. I don't do seafood.
I don't do seafood or pork.
Okay, great.
All right,
y'all.
Well, from us to you all, may your pain be champagne.